Puppy. What the fuck?
What's up guys, Big Al's Bike and Auto here coming at you. Sorry for the lack of content lately, I've been very busy. The first thing I want to show you guys is this 93 Corolla I picked up recently. Nothing special, I got a pretty decent deal on it, but it's a car, it's not worth much anyway. Got it for 300 bucks. It's got 178,000 miles on it. Clean title, 2-owner car. Has a couple minor things like this bumper was hanging off, which I fixed. I just have to get a replacement marker light here. It's missing a hubcap, which doesn't really matter, but if I'm at the junkyard and I see a hubcap or a set of hubcaps for cheap that'll match while I'm getting this marker light, I'll take care of that. It does have a chip in the windshield, a pretty good one, looks like a bullet hit it almost, and most people's insurance will cover the replacement of that. But it has a very straight body, it has good paint, which is hard to find in these Corollas. It's a 16 valve, 4-cylinder, very reliable. So you can see it's in pretty good condition overall. I've been using it as a daily for the past few weeks because the Element is out of commission again. I changed out the pressure switch for the VTEC solenoid. I used a Chinese one like a fool, and now the whole VTEC solenoid's acting up. I'm going to check engine light and it's not engaging VTEC, so I'm going to replace the whole solenoid. So I'm going to start this thing up for you guys. I'm actually taking it now to go pick up another vehicle I'm selling on consignment. I've been doing a lot of consignment deals lately. The one I've been trying to sell for the past week and a half now is a 2001 Honda CRV. It's an all-wheel drive manual. It has some minor body rust, but pretty solid car, 170,000 miles on it. I want to show you guys a couple minor issues on this Corolla quick, some other issues while it warms up. Engine does vibrate quite a bit because the motor mount up here in the front, but it runs very well, doesn't overheat. Nothing funny wrong with it. Oh, the power steering stopped working after I bought it. I knew there was an issue. The pump was very loud. I put in some Lucas stop leak. Unfortunately, I think it might have been too late because a few days later, the power steering failed. The car is very light, fortunately, and it's almost unnoticeable that the power steering does not work. So another thing I'm not going to bother fixing. One of the most important things down here in South Florida is having ice cold AC, which it does have. A little bit of body damage over here. Looks like someone might have bonded it up at some point, which is good because it didn't rust, but not the most visually pleasant thing to look at. Usually sell for around 800 bucks in a lot worse shape. That's why I'm thinking I might be able to grab 1,000 or even more, but we'll see. Either way, I'm making decent money on it, and it's been very useful for me for the past couple of weeks. I've racked up some good miles on it. The only thing I've done to it is change the oil, and like I said, put the bumper back on the front. What I do like about this car is these little old Corollas and old Toyotas in general are very basic and very reliable. And this car has crank windows, so you don't have to worry about window regulators failing. Stock radio, which I love stock radios. Obviously not the best for sound, but they look good appearance-wise, and usually don't give you too many issues. So the brake light is on. I think that might be because there's an issue with the brake lights. There's a little piece of rubber underneath these brake pedals. Basically, when you push down, so it triggers the brake light. And I'm assuming it's broken because the brake lights stay on. I actually had to unplug them. I don't want to sell a car without working brake lights or brake lights that stay on and drain the battery. That would not be good. So I will fix that before I sell it. But let's go ahead and take it for a spin. I doubt the camera's going to pick up the intensity of the vibration, but I don't know if you can see it, the steering wheel actually vibrates pretty badly when you're sitting at idle because of the motor mount. So I don't know, I'd like to change it out, but again, I think this car will sell for 800 to 1,000 either way, based on the other Corollas I've seen in the market, which have over 200,000 miles, have faded paint, AC doesn't work, or they're overheating. And I'm going to try to sell it first as is. And if it doesn't sell because of this vibration, then I'll go ahead and spend whatever it's going to cost me to put the motor mount in. So this is one of the classic annoying situations I deal with consigning cars. The guy I'm selling this car for, he still needs it. So whenever I have someone that wants to see it, he leaves it at home for me for the day, and he takes an Uber or whatever he does. So here I am in the CRV. It's a pretty good runner. It's a manual, which is cool, all-wheel drive. I get there, the fucking tire's flat. Now mind you, there's someone waiting to see this car right now at a supermarket parking lot nearby, and they've already been there for probably 20 minutes. I run home to get a cigarette lighter compressor. The tire's so fucking flat, the cigarette lighter compressor's not doing anything. So now I gotta drive this thing with a flat tire. There's a gas station up the road here that has an air compressor. So I'm gonna have to take it there, pray to God I don't ruin this tire on the way. fill it up with air, and then take it all the way over to the supermarket where the guy has been waiting. And hopefully by then he's still sticking around, and it's probably going to ruin his perception of the vehicle and me as a seller because he's got to wait for it. So I might be losing a potential buyer here because of this situation. So anyway, I'm almost at the gas station. So far the tire is still appearing to be okay. So I'm going to take it to the gas station, fill it up, take it over, and I'll let you guys know what happens. Okay, good news is the tire made it. I'm now just a few minutes away from the supermarket where we're meeting. This thing has no muffler on it. It sounds pretty good. Hopefully the buyer, I had one buyer come look at it. He was pretty turned off by that. Told him we could put a muffler on it easily, but wasn't interested. So hopefully this buyer won't mind. If this guy falls through, I'm not too concerned because I got a woman actually who's been looking for a manual CRV who's very interested. She was mentioning leaving a deposit, this and that, and wants to come see it tonight. So, but she's bringing her mechanic, which I really don't know if there's anything wrong with this vehicle. To me, it feels fine. It's got an ABS light on, probably for a sensor in the front, but it seems pretty good to me. However, I prefer when there's no mechanic inspection on a consignment because I don't know anything about the vehicle, and it could just be a waste of my time if they find something wrong with it. So, we'll see what happens with this guy, but if he fails, I have a buyer tonight. So that went pretty well. The guy, of course, typical Craigslist lowballer, told him forget it, and then he came up to about $1,800, which isn't too far off from what we're asking for the car. I got it listed for $22, but I do have this chick that wants to see it tonight. She's like begging me to hold it for her. She's been looking for a manual CRV, and I have a feeling I should be able to squeeze the extra $200 to $400 out of her for the car, which is the goal. I've got this guy, look at this fucking asshole. You gotta love Miami. So I've got this guy as a potential buyer, which is good. I told him like, no for now. I got other people who are interested at a higher price. If they fall through, I'll let you know. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I'm gonna bring this thing back to his house, park it there until tonight, and we'll see what happens. I wish he'd leave some goddamn gas in the thing. This is the second time I've picked this car up and it's been on empty. Here's the CRV if you guys are interested in seeing what it looks like. It's got decent paint. It does have a lot of cosmetic damage. Pretty sizable dent on this door here, and there is some rust. This was an Ohio car before, so it's definitely got some rust, but it's solid overall. Just not the prettiest, but definitely a good running, driving CRV. That's the scoop. I'm gonna show this thing again tonight, and hopefully I can get it out of here and make a good buck off of it. All right, I hope you guys can see me. I'm in the CRV on my way to meet the buyer. I showed it to a woman last night. She was an absolute pain in the neck. She was gonna pay more, but she couldn't pay right away. She had to leave a deposit. And at first I said, okay, but then I talked to the owner of the vehicle and he wants it gone. And then he changed his mind and said, well, let's go with her, but if she can bring a deposit tonight, because she was saying tomorrow, meaning today. And then she goes, okay, I'll meet you tonight. Then all of a sudden, I stay up till like 12:30 in the morning to meet this chick. Then she goes, oh, I can't do tonight. I can do tomorrow, but I'm bringing my mechanic. And I'm like, no, I'm not playing these games anymore. You inspected the vehicle. I told you there's something wrong with the vehicle. You drove the vehicle. Like, I've got another buyer who's ready to go with cash. And the seller of this vehicle felt the same way. This chick's playing games. Who knows if she can come up with the money. Now, granted, a deposit's not refundable, but all she could do for a deposit was $100, which is nothing real useful. This guy is the guy that offered $1,800 yesterday. We tried to get him to come up, to no avail, so he's paying $18. The seller of the vehicle's happy with that. I'm happy with that. I'm still making good money off this sale. All right, so I totally forgot to record. I was just caught up in the transaction, but the CRV is sold, $1,800. I think the guy got a pretty decent deal on it. It's not the most pretty one cosmetically, but mechanically it was very sound. So that's gone. I took my percentage, and that's that. So nice little quick, easy, somewhat easy. The chick last night made it a little annoying, but it is what it is. It was just an hour or two out of my night, but that's that. On to the next one.